Hey everyone, if you work in tech, you know how the right tools can make or break your day. I'm talking about those apps that go from nice to have to I literally cannot work without this thing. Today, I want to share 5 apps that completely change how I work. These aren't fancy or expensive, most of them are in fact open source, but each solve a real problem I was struggling with, and I bet you might be struggling with that too. Let's get started. So first, I would like to talk about Notion. Notion is a note-taking app which is expandable, it's easy to use and understand, and that you can use to keep track of very important information. When you're working in technology, you need a place to keep your personal knowledge base and reference information. So it's very useful to use an application like Notion to keep track of all those different things. I mainly use Notion as a note-taking app, and that works great for me. However, it's very spendable and powerful with AI features, the ability to create simple database and websites, dashboards, collaborate with other people, share notes, and many more. What I really like about Notion is how flexible it is. You can start simple with just basic notes and then gradually add more features as you need them. The search function is excellent, so you can quickly find any information you stored weeks or months ago. The templates are also very helpful to get started quickly. And I would also like to mention that another alternative is Obsidian, which is truly and 100% open source, stored locally on your devices, but that might lack some other features you might need, such as out-of-the-box node syncing, cloud storage, or the ability to host multiple files types such as Notion. So if you prefer to keep your data completely under your control and don't mind the extra setup, Obsidian might be worth to check it out. But for most people, Notion provides the right balance of features and ease of use. The second app that I would like to talk to you about is MobaXterm. So this is a Windows application that provides you with a complete terminal environment with remote network tools. If you work with servers or network devices like me, or need to connect to any kind of Linux machine regularly, this tool is very useful. MobaXterm combines many different tools into one interface. So first you get an SSH client functionality, you get file transfer capabilities, H11 forwarding, and many other network tools all in one place. The interface is clean and organized with tabs so you can have multiple connections open simultaneously without getting confused. And one of the things that makes MobaXterm particularly useful, at least for me, is that it saves all your connection configurations. So you don't need to remember all the IP addresses, all the usernames, or even the password if you like to set that as well. You have all those different options that you can just directly personalize and set here in MobaXterm. And it's very useful to keep things stored and organized so you can connect to any system with just a few clicks. The built-in file transfer feature is very convenient. You can drag and drop files between your local machine and remote servers directly from the interface. This eliminates the need to separate file transfer applications. MobaXterm also includes a local terminal for Windows, which gives you access to many Unix commands directly on your Windows machine. I don't use that much, but it's particularly helpful when you're working in mixed environments. The third application that I'd like to mention is Draw.io. So this is a web-based diagramming tool that is completely free to use. And it also includes a version that you can download directly into your desktop. In the technology world, you're probably constantly trying to create diagrams or explain system architecture, workflows, database relationships, network configurations, you name it. So Draw.io makes this process very straightforward and efficient. I use it for all my network diagrams. I use it whenever I try to create any kind of flow diagram, or if I have any kind of complex situation that I can make use of a diagram, I will use Draw.io. So this application has a large library of shapes and templates for different type of diagrams, whether you need to create flow charts, network diagrams, organizational charts, technical architecture diagrams, you have all the tools available here. What I particularly appreciate about Draw.io is that it works entirely in your web browser, so you don't really have to get the version here as I do here locally, but you have the both options as well. So you don't really need to install any software if you don't want to. You can access your diagrams from anywhere. The interface is intuitive and you can create professional looking diagrams quite quickly. It also has a very excellent export function, so you can save your diagrams in multiple formats, including PNG, GPAG, PDF, SVG, and you can integrate it with cluster services like Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox to store and share your diagrams. I think that for team collaboration, you can share diagrams really easy and work on that together with other people in real time. So this makes it a very useful application and one that I particularly enjoy using. The next one is one that probably comes as not surprise, and that is Visual Studio Code. So this is a source code editor developed by Microsoft that has become extremely popular among developers and technology professionals. VS Code is much more than just a text editor. It's a complete development environment that supports many programming languages out of the box. The syntax highlighting, code completion, debugging features make coding much more efficient. And you can go and read 1,000 reviews, but just from my personal take, this has been really useful. One of the strongest features of VS Code is the extension marketplace. There are thousands of extensions available that can add functionality for specific programming languages, frameworks, tools, and workflows. You can customize VS Code to work exactly the way you need it for your particular projects. The integrated terminal is very useful. You can run commands, scripts, and tools directly from within the editor without switching to a separate terminal windows. This keeps your workflow smooth and organized. VS Code also has excellent Git integration built-in. You can see changes, commit code, push to repositories, manage branches, all from within the same editor interface. The performance is really good. Even with large projects and many files open, it remains responsive and fast. And the search functionality across files and projects is very powerful. Another aspect about VS Code is that it's completely free. It works on Windows, Mac, and Linux, and Microsoft have made this tool available without any cost, which is remarkable considering its capabilities. It is a very powerful tool again, and one that I recommend for many people. The fifth and final application that I'd like to talk about is WSL, and that stands for Windows Subsystem for Linux. Is the feature provided by Microsoft that allows you to run Linux distribution directly on Windows without the need for virtual machines or dual boot configurations. So it's not a lot of words, but what it means practically is you get a terminal and you have all the Windows functionality because this is running on containers, and essentially you can have a Linux distribution directly on your Windows machine. For many people, and this including me, that get accustomed to start using Linux, especially for development and even sometimes for troubleshooting, this is a really useful and powerful tool. With WSL, you can install popular Linux distribution like Ubuntu, Debian, SUSE directly from the Microsoft Store. And once installed, you have access to the full Linux command line environment, package managers, and tools. The integration between Linux and WSL is very well done. You can access your Windows files from within the Linux environment, and you can also access the Linux files on Windows. So this makes the file management and project organization much more flexible. With the current version of WSL, you get provided near native Linux performance because it runs on real Linux kernel. This means that tools and applications run almost as fast as they would on a native Linux system. For development work, this is particularly valuable. You can use Linux-specific tools like Docker, various programming languages, and build systems while still using Windows application for tasks like emails, presentation, or graphic works. The setup process has become much simpler compared to earlier versions. You can enable WSL through Windows feature, you can install a Linux distribution from the Microsoft Store, and you can pretty much install it with just one command and PowerShell if you like to. This tool has eliminated the need for complex virtual machine setups that some people didn't like or didn't know how to use. And it's one that I definitely recommend to check out and start using Linux. I hope you enjoyed this video, that it has been helpful. And before you go, please tell me what have been applications that have been game changers in your technology journey. I would love to hear all of them in the comments. I will see you next time for the next video. I hope you take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.